Hi guys, my name is Satyadip Gaur. I am a software engineer. I have experience in many languages like Java, MySQL, Oracle, and front end, Angular, React, blah blah, all the modern languages. So I am currently here to teach you something about MySQL. So let's get started with. So we will cover all these topics today, or we'll try to cover all these topics today. So we'll start with basic definition of what is SQL. So SQL is nothing but structured query language, which is used for storing, manipulating, means either we are inserting or either we are updating or deleting, or retrieving means either we are selecting something from our database. So basically, what is database here? We know that in old times, in very old times, people used to store everything in papers. To avoid these things, computer came, and now in times of computer, where we should store all our data into. So there came the concept of database management system. Like there is one place which is called database, which will store all your data into it. And what is the meaning of relational here? Relational means the whatever the data is stored in the database is kind of correlated to each other. Like if we have a database called school, so if whatever the data we are stored into the school database, it is like what we say, relational to each other. Like if we store the student data, so student data and the marks table for the student, like whatever the marks he has or she has scored in his quarterly test or yearly test, so both are kind of relational to each other. So there comes the name relational database management system. That's according to me. I am not talking about any book, but that's according to me should be the definition of relational database management system, because the data contained inside the database is quite related to each other. So that's what overview of the RDBMS. And next came the examples. So many companies pitched into this business and they created many software. So most used softwares are MySQL, Oracle, PostgreSQL. So these softwares are mostly used around the world for RDBMS. So next comes the tables. So we'll start with basic examples. So I would like the viewers to whatever I write the query, start writing side by side, so that whatever I am able to develop or I am able to do, you will also be able to do. It's not like you watch this video and after 2 days you are trying to do it. I would like to recommend that kindly start now itself. Open your code editor or open your MySQL Workbench. So currently I will be using MySQL Workbench for writing the queries. You can use MySQL command line also. So I might be having that also, maybe. Yeah, my password is root. Most of the passwords are root. So we have both actually. So both, we can use both, meaning is same. I prefer Workbench because it is somewhat interactive. We can see in widescreen. So let's start then. So now we are creating a database. So what is a database? Which will store lot many tables. Lot many. There could be hundreds of tables inside a single database. So let's start creating a database. Create schema school. Yeah, by the way, this video is for very beginners. This video is not for pro level database engineers. So sorry guys if you are watching this video. I think so I am not that knowledgeable that I can guide you guys something new in this video. But this video is for the people who are approaching into their college degree and they have just passed out their higher secondary and they want to come into computer science background, and people who are in computer science background and they want to create their database and create their own small mini project and so on and so forth. And maybe we will discuss some few interview questions that we ask to our candidates. Okay, so let's get started with create schema school. So you can see here we got the message like schema is created. Now for using the schema, what we need to do is use schema, SCHEMA, school. So that is the I'll just copy paste the typo mistake. Sorry, use school. So school is our database name or schema name, and now we are trying to use school. So use school is selected. Now what we need to do is, so as I told, the database is what? Collection of tables. Like there could be lot of tables into it. Okay. Now we need to create a table. So create table. So writing SQL queries is just like writing English. So you can just correlate to it. Create table. Now what we want to do is we need to create something, right? So what we want to create here, create table. So what I have written, create table. Now table name, what we want to create table name as student. Okay, student. And what all columns we should have inside a student table? So obviously there should be an ID which should be integer. So for integer I am giving int. There should be a name. Yes, student should have a name, so it should be varchar. So here varchar is nothing but it could store characters. Okay, varchar is a data type which will store characters. We can always define how much characters it could store. So I have given maximum it could store 50. Next we'll go to the class. So which class they study? So it would be varchar 10. No, it will be int. So class will be from 1 to 12, right? So it should be integer, and with a semicolon and control enter. Okay, so our, according to this success message, create table student is now created. Now our student table is created. Now we want to see what are the columns and how this student table is described. So there is a simple command for that, DESC. DESC is nothing but, as I told, this is just English. So DESC is nothing but describe student. Control enter. So here we have the description of our table, ID, which contains ID, which contains name, and which contains class of the student. Okay, hope up to this point everything is clear. If anything, if you guys are facing doubt in any of the points, you can just comment down below any recommendation or any such thing from a pro database guy. That also is that also will be quite helpful. So any kind of recommendation, any kind of criticism, kindly put it into the what we say, comment section. Next, describe student. That works. Now according to our points to cover, so this could be an interview question. So basically interviewers will ask how many parts the queries are divided into. Usually we write queries in SQL. So how many parts database queries are divided into? So main question will be DDL. What is a DDL? Data definition language. Data definition language. By name itself, it suggests that we are defining something here. We are defining something. So defining means nothing but creating, altering, or dropping something. Creating is nothing but now we created a database here. So that is called create statement, create schema school. Alter that I will show right now itself. Like alter, you can, if there is a school, there is a student table. Now if you want to add few more columns, so we need to use alter command. And if we want to drop the student table itself or school schema itself, so that also we can do. So basically this is data definition language. Means we can the topmost portion of the, what we say, the structure of the database, we can change using data definition language. The next part is data manipulation language. So data manipulation. Now what we are doing here, manipulating the data. We are not playing with the structure. We played the structure in data definition language. Now we are manipulating the data. So here now we are talking about the data. So first of all, what we are doing, select. Select is nothing but we are picking something from our tables. Select, picking something from our tables, like selecting something from our tables. It could be selection of whole data from the table. It could be selection of few records based on some conditions. Next kind of manipulation is inserting. Inserting is nothing but putting the data inside a table. Next is updating. If we have one data, then we want to update that data, we use the update command. Next is deleting. Now if one of the data row is not required, so what we could do, we could delete it. So RDBMS provides all these queries to us, which is data definition language for playing with the structure of the schema, data manipulation language playing with the data. Now data control language. Data control language is nothing but you saw me while I was logging into this MySQL command line. I used my password as root. So there is a there is a feature in the MySQL, like only I can. It is not like only I can use this workbench, or either I only able to use this database. So many people can use this database. For that we can create different users. So for creating different users and for granting them different permissions, we have this data control language. Okay, so if I am a database administrator, so I will be having all these permissions like creating the database, altering, dropping, select, insert, blah blah. But now if I have a junior intern in my house and I just want to give him the select permission, so I can grant him only the select permission here. He won't be able to create, alter or drop or insert or do all this blah blah stuff. He will only be able to select this stuff and so on. So that comes under data control language, like granting other users or granting a user permission, how he can access the database and what will be his experience using the database. So that will come under DCL, data control language. So these are few interview questions. Basically these are normal queries which we will be using. Usually people get confused when an interviewer throw them a big word like what is data definition language. It's nothing, create, alter, drop. So simple. Now coming back to our query, as I told, we created a schema, then we created a table. Now as I told, I will show you alter command also. Alter command will add one more column to this student table. So alter table student, add column. So you can see, right, I'm just writing English. Alter table student, add column. What I wanted to do, I want to add a column. So what column should I add here? I should add an address, DRESS, varchar. So address could be a big value, so I am taking it as 100. Control enter. So now again what I will do, I will describe my table. Now everyone can see this address column here came. Okay, so that's what we almost covered our DDL portion. Create is done, alter is done. Let's go to our drop portion also. So now we created our schema called school. Now we'll drop this schema. Okay, we don't want it. I don't want to create this school project. I am fed up. So now I will drop it. I will drop it. Drop schema school. This semicolon, control enter. So now you can see, right, drop schema school, one row affected, my schema is dropped. Now if I try to use school, it shows that unknown database is cool, because that database doesn't exist in my system. Understood? So now that database is not in my system. So now we have covered all the data definition language here. Like create we have covered, alter we have covered, and drop we have covered. Now again, anyways we need this schema. So again I will select all these four queries. Maybe use this, yeah, all four queries, and here you can see this flash icon. I will just click on this flash icon and it will run only these four queries, and it will not run this query. So now if I describe the student, you can see now my student this thing came. So now we have covered our data definition language. I would like to cover one DML or two DMLs from here. That then we'll wrap up this video. So let's go on, and first of all we'll insert one record into our database. So for that, now what we need to do is insert. So whenever I basically used to insert when I was a junior developer, so I used to just describe the table so that I would be seeing what all queries what all rows I need to insert. So ID, I need to insert in ID, name, sorry my bad, insert into school. So I need to show right which table I need to insert. So insert into school, which all columns I need to insert then, class, comma, ADDRESS. Now values I need to define. So for these rows, what should be the values? So I am the first student, my name is Satya, and my class is, let's say I study in class 12th, and what is my address? I live in Bangalore. So this will be our first record. Control enter. Okay, there is some problem. Okay. So I have given the database name. Actually it should be the table name. Insert into student and the column names and the values. Control enter. So now our record has been inserted into database according to the logs. So basically these are the logs we can see in the down portion. Now I will copy and I will try to insert another record in a different way. I am just removing these column names. So why we need column names, that also I will tell. Second, and I will take he also studies in class 12th and he lives in Bangalore with me. This also will work. Now people will say that Satya, you have taken the column name in one query and in next query you are not taking the column name. So why you are taking, if it is working without column name, then why you are writing all this column name and all? So why we write column name is, for suppose I have another student 3 and his name is Harsh and he study in class 11th. Now if I don't know the address of Harsh, I can just remove it. And data will get inserted. But there is a catch here. Now if I just try doing this, if I am not specifying any column name here, so I have a 4th student called Ankit who studies in class 12th and I am not specifying the address. Control enter. So here database will give the error like count doesn't match, column count doesn't match. So our student table has 4 columns and I am providing value only for 3. I am such a loser. I should know the address and I should provide the address. So that's why if we don't know the data which should be filled in any of the columns, then we should use this particular approach. We should use the column names and then we should insert the data into our database. Otherwise we can come across this kind of error like column count doesn't match. Now all we have done is insert into our table. Now we should look into one more query called select query. So I want to see what are the data inside my table. So what I will do is select star. Star is nothing but I call it like select everything from student. UDNT semicolon control enter. So you can see, right, ID is 1 for Satya, class 12th, Bangalore. ID 2 Sanskar, class 12th, Bangalore, and we inserted Harsh, which is in class 11th, and I don't know his address. I'm sorry, Harsh. So this is the select query. Now if I want to select particular columns, like I just want to select ID comma name and I don't want the relevance of the class, so I'll just select like this, ID comma name from student. Okay, now we'll just come up with update and delete, then we'll wrap around this video. Now let's select everything first. We won't call it star, we'll call it everything. Select everything from student. Now I need to update. I want to change the address of Satyadeep, and I will from Bangalore I shifted to my hometown, so I will just change the address. So update, what is the table name? Update student, set address ADD RESS equal to I am in my hometown, DDL. So Jagdalpur is small town in Chhattisgarh. And what is my ID? Where ID equal to 1. So now what is where here? Where is nothing but a keyword. We call it as a where clause. So it is like a conditional statement. It specifies that which one we need to update, which record we need to update, which record we need to select. Like if I select star from the student where ID equal to 1, so it will look into the database, select everything from student where ID equal to 1. So it will see, okay, I have all the students now, which student I need to pick, whose ID equal to 1. Okay, so if we run this query, we'll get only one output, which is mine, which is my row. Okay, so similar way, if we use this query to update the student, so only the address of my record will get updated, because what I have specified where ID equal to 1, and ID equal to 1 is my ID. If I do a control enter, then I can see one row affected here, one row changed, 0 warnings. Now just press a control enter here, you can see my address has changed. I came back to my hometown. Cool. Now here comes the delete clause. Okay, delete query, sorry. So delete from student. So now I want to delete myself. I am not a student anymore in this school. There ID equal to, I long left my student life, I became a college man, then I started my career as a software developer. So now I don't study in school. So I am deleting my record. Delete from a student, delete from whichever table we want, where ID equal to 1, whichever ID we want. Control enter. So now if I am trying to select is everything from student where ID equal to 1, it is saying 0 rows because I deleted my record. Okay, that's how we delete the records. So guys, I would like to wind up this video here itself. We covered a lot of things today. Basically, what is RDBMS, some examples of RDBMS, how to create a database, what are the tables, and some data manipulation language. So I would like you guys to practice this, and just in the comment section, please recommend what kind of videos you would like to see. I know it is lockdown, you guys are free, you would like to consume some content, so I can make some quality content for you guys. And let's catch up in the next video then. Till then, bye bye.